you hold this for a minute? Okay, it looks normal. It's not stretching you.
Nice.
What happened?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's sometimes it stretches me out, and it's got like, so Anthony, the manager at White was talking mad shit. He's like, yo, why is your head so big on Instagram? I was like, that's fucked up, bro. Why is my head so big? Don't talk shit like that, bro. Who hurt you? Why do you have to say so much mean shit to me? I mean, like, do me a favor. Do you mind just moving the one on the right over just a little bit? I just want to see how many viewers we end up getting.
Oh, there's Nico.
Nico! Like how crazy it is, the back and forth. How much off it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's nuts. Damn, so I already lost the viewer. Fucked up.
You gotta dance or something to keep them entertained.
Right? Keep these people like wanting to be. We don't care. Oh man, it's too funny. That TikTok is funny.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The
That's
response?
insane. Yeah.
I knew we were gonna piss people off though, because it's like people get offended for no freaking reason these days.
Those comments were, but we got, how many do we have now?
Like 2 million.
We're at 2 million?
Yeah.
God. 1.9. We're so close to
That
2
we don't care
million.
part was funny though. That shit was hilarious.
It was hilarious. And all our other videos got way more views too.
Yeah, yeah. Like even the one we just made was like already up at 3,000. I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's now at 4,000.
We also got like 700 followers.
I know.
Yeah,
That was big.
that was
Really
huge.
big.
That was huge.
Yeah. All right.
Are you drinking today?
No, I'm not drinking today. I'm going to bed. We get up today. You had me up at freaking 6:30. It was fun.
You could have gotten up at 8.
No, I can't. I need time. I gotta get my shit together. Traction. Flowers are pouring out right there. Let's go. Look at Facebook. Almost got the same amount of views as Instagram. Damn, I just lost Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia. I gotta save this for Flavio. I don't want Flavio's to-go container. Alright, let's start. I'm not waiting anymore. Hey guys, so we're making tomato risotto with herbs and burrata because everybody loves burrata, right? So first things first, because it's gonna take some time and we gotta get it going. Have a pot on, turn your heat all the way up, and then get your chicken stock hot, okay? So this is one of the most important parts of this because if you don't have hot chicken stock, every time you go to add a ladle of chicken stock into your risotto, it's gonna bring the temperature all the way down, and then you gotta heat it all the way back up for it to start working. So we're gonna take, I did it so that you guys can see, instead of me having to use the chicken stock that we have here at Grana, I went out and bought it so you can see that like you can easily make it with bought chicken stock, not difficult at all. And we're gonna boil this whole thing, and probably even another half of the other one, because it takes quite a bit to get the risotto where we want it to be. We'll do one more. All right, just like that. So we'll get that going and boiling. So as that going, we're gonna start our tomato sauce, right? Because we're gonna need to do some tomato sauce for this. So we're gonna start getting this guy hot. A little bit of olive oil in here. Decent amount of olive oil. Turn your heat down a little bit. So for the tomato sauce, right? We're gonna do the staples. So we're gonna do 2 cloves of garlic. Do a little bit of basil. Touch of chili flakes. All right, that's it. Very simple. So I get this ball going. So here, nice slices on this garlic. All right. So we're gonna go easy on these chili flakes because they're super hot for some reason. So we're not gonna put a ton. So we're gonna put garlic in, and we're gonna end up pureeing this, so you don't have to go too fine on the garlic this time. Normally I would slice a little bit thinner, but we don't need to because we're gonna puree this when the time comes. All right. Move your garlic around a little bit, let that start doing its thing. We're gonna do a little bit of chili flake in there, not a lot this time. And then you're gonna tear a couple basil leaves and you're gonna throw those in there. All right? And you're gonna start flavoring that oil. We talk about it all the time. You flavor the oil, and the oil has a big part of this, right? Because that oil is gonna incorporate, and all of this oil that's in here is gonna emulsify with the tomato, and that's what's gonna create this to taste fantastic. Not looking for a lot of color, just lightly toasted on it. Pro cuts. All right. A little bit longer. All right, and then anytime I make a pomodoro tomato sauce, I like to use Italian peeled tomatoes. Cento today. Cento, you want to give me some money for advertising for you? Here you go. All right, right into the pan, off the heat, right? Because you don't want to burn the people in front of you and you don't want to splatter all over the place.
Someone said S&P now or after you add the tomatoes?
No, salt and pepper after. We're going to talk about that after. I don't use a lot of black pepper, guys, unless I'm making a dish that requires pepper. I'm not a huge fan of black pepper. I'll put black pepper on a few things here or there, but not a lot. I use salt. So right now we season, okay? And we do 1 small pinch of salt just to get the ball rolling. If I add too much salt now and it becomes too salty later, you can't take that salt out, right? We can fix it, we can find a way to fix it, but why? When you could just add a little bit, get the ball rolling now, and then later we could adjust seasoning, okay? So what I do is I actually kick the heat up very high. I bring this up quickly to a boil, and then I turn it down and I let it simmer, okay? So as that's simmering, this is coming up to heat. We're gonna get the rest of our prep ready and done so that we can kind of just get this all incorporated. The risotto part, now a lot of people pre-cook their risotto. It's fine, you can pre-cook your risotto. I'm not a huge fan of it. I like to cook risotto to order. That's why you probably don't see it a lot in restaurants, because people just don't feel like they're getting a great experience or the correct risotto. It does make it a little more difficult. Whenever I do have it on the menu at the restaurants, we go to order. So expect a 20 to 25 minute pickup time. So it takes a little bit longer. And if you get 10 or 15 of them going, and that's how busy the risotto is, it becomes a little even more difficult to get this out, right? So quickly came up to a boil, give it a little stir. All right, now I'm gonna turn this down and we're gonna go light simmer on this, okay? We don't want it boiling, so keep an eye on your heat. Go a little bit lighter, a little bit lower. All right, so like we talked about in other lives, right? As you're moving your tomatoes, because you're gonna check this often, right? As you're moving your tomato, let's say you go to scrape it like that, and when you pull it up, you have black bits there. That means your tomato sauce is burnt. Stop scraping, go instantly into another pan, and go back to low heat. If you scrape at it and you do that, you're incorporating all that burnt flavor into your tomato sauce, and it's garbage, and you can't use it, all right?
Chef Jesus.
How's it going, Chef? What up, Jesus? How are you, my man? All right, so break up your tomatoes just a touch. All right. All right. A little bit more heat on it. Now go to the side. Now, couple things for when you're doing this. I use different types of risotto depending on what I'm making. Because this one is tomato based, I don't have to use the super expensive risotto, okay? I'll take 2, Chef. Absolutely, Jason. So you don't have to use a super expensive risotto. So there's different types. This is arborio rice. It's just basically a generic arborio rice. Then there's also something called carnaroli. That's my go-to everyday risotto. And then there's something called acquarello. Acquarello is like the Ferrari of risotto. When you come to the restaurant and we have actual risotto on the menu, I would use acquarello. To make this, where it's a tomato base and you're at home, I don't want you to spend $70 on a bag of risotto when you're probably just gonna let it sit in your cupboard afterwards and probably not use it again. Because it is a labor of love. It takes time, right? This takes some time to make. It's not easy, but it's fun and it's different, right? You have family come over, you could do it. You can show off and show up at the table with the pot and then spoon it off at the table. There's so much stuff you could do, all right? So, risotto, put that aside. Now, a lot of people use onions in their risotto. I'm a huge fan of shallots. I just like shallots in general, right? To me, shallots has more of like that sweeter taste to it. And I like a lot of shallots in my risotto. We're not gonna make a lot of risotto, but I do like to have a lot of shallots in it. I like that sweetness. There's gonna be that bitter and sweetness coming from the tomato. There's a flavor coming from the chicken stock. We're gonna get the sweetness from the wine, but I wanna have a little bit more sweetness coming from the actual shallot itself, okay? So we're gonna do the chop. So if you come over, see that this guy's boiling, so we're gonna turn him down, because the last thing you wanna do is make this thing over reduce and then we could barely use it, right? This guy's boiling, it's doing its thing. All right, again, giving a little check, making sure that we're okay. Best risotto in the game, my God. Yes, he is, Buratta. Nate, what up, my man? I miss you, dude. When are you done with doing that and coming back? All right, slicing shallots. Starting with your knife basically like that, but as you're pulling, you're actually not going all the way to the edge to slice. I got big hand, like not big hands, but like sausage fingers. So it's gonna be hard for me to show you, but basically starting with your knife a little farther out, but as you're pulling, right, you're pulling the knife and you're pushing down as you're pulling through, right? Hard to see. Now, this way is how you get it so that you have even cuts, right? So pull the shallot closer to the edge for yourself, right? Hand on top, and as your hand's on top, you're gonna start the knife this way, and you're gonna pull the knife all the way through. Now, same idea. If I go all the way through the shallot, this is gonna be a disaster. You wanna stop right there, right? So you're not going all the way through so that it holds it together. This is the nub, and you want this to hold the shallot together, right? Stop. So now we're gonna get these all set up, and I'll show you the chopping after. Now, the most important thing, guys, is having a flat bottom, right? If I went to go cut this right now, there's a good possibility you're gonna end up cutting yourself, right? So sometimes you take a look, is there two in there? There is, but we're gonna go this way instead and cut them that way, all right? This guy's got a pretty flat bottom. That guy's got a flat bottom. Turn this guy down just a touch. All right, we're gonna do the same thing. Yeah, we don't wanna burn the sauce. Same thing, come straight through. And then same thing, straight through this way, not to go all the way through. The last thing you wanna do is go all the way through. Same thing here. All the way through like that. Again, seems like it's a lot, guys, but you'll see quickly how this really adds to the risotto. That's why I like to have so much of it in my recipe. Now, you could put an onion. You want to use onion, use an onion. You can use scallions. It's going to alter the flavor, obviously, a little bit, but you know, I'm a shallot guy. I've always liked shallots, so I try to aim in that direction. All right. That's doing its thing. Like, you don't want to do that where you cut through it. Check on your sauce. Make sure you're not overboiling. If you're overboiling, you're gonna end up more than likely burning the bottom of that tomato sauce. So you don't want to do that. All right. That game is strong. Thank you so much. You're right. It's because of these two ladies right here, though. So why don't you guys photograph each other? So they're the ones handling most of our social media or all of our social media, and they're the ones that really got the last TikTok off the ground and going, which is fun. A lot of hate mail, but let me just be clear right now about fettuccine Alfredo. Okay, so fettuccine Alfredo. The only Alfredo I know is my Uncle Alfredo in Italy. Fettuccine Alfredo doesn't exist. Okay, there's fettuccine al burro. Fettuccine al burro is fettuccine with a butter and cheese sauce, right? So basically, cacio e pepe with no pepe. Okay, that is fettuccine Alfredo. You come to Grana or Whitebowl and ask me for fettuccine Alfredo, we will throw our noses up in the air because that shit doesn't exist. Okay, cream sauce doesn't exist. All right, rigatoni alla vodka does not exist in Italy. Just giving you a heads up. Okay, I don't hate anybody for it. Ask me all day, you're not gonna get it. Okay, but if you come in and you say, Chef, make me your version of it, I would love to. Okay, because you're gonna get, well, as people say, buttered noodles. We don't serve that shit either, okay? It's buttered pasta. Don't call my pasta noodles, all right? We're clear on all this, guys? Give me a thumbs up if you guys understand what I'm saying. All right, so now, let's get back to the shallots, because now I'm all heated up, all right? Back to the shallots. So now, we're gonna slice, all right? Last thing you wanna do, guys, is chop this. That's why I always slice this way. I slice going away from me. There, thank you, Sylvia. All right, away from me, right? You want these nice, even cuts of shallots. So now you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna get to the end, and you obviously didn't cut through the end, right? So we're gonna save that for after, and I'll show you how to do that because we don't waste anything, right? Last thing we wanna do is waste any of this stuff. Same thing here. Get in here. Nice cuts. And again, guys, if you're doing this at home, take your time. Don't rush. It's not a race, all right? Let's take our time and do it the right way, okay? Just like that, all right?
What's the difference between the rice that you had mentioned for the risotto?
So there's a couple differences, all right? The aquarello, what they say is it's a little bit harder to incorporate liquid into it, so it takes a little bit longer to cook, but it's actually a touch of a fattier grain, right? And it's absolutely delicious. It's almost has like a toasted flavor to it. The carnaroli to me is thinner, and it's a little cleaner. Like you'll be able to see the actual rice a little bit better, where the arborio is, to me, very entry level. Everybody that uses risotto or arancini use arborio because it lets off a lot of starch and almost gets lost in there, okay? So, I need those genies for shallots, perfect. All right, now we're gonna do the last shallot and then I'm gonna show you what to do with those ends, okay? So it looks like a lot, but it's really not. Because by the time I sweat this down and I make these onions translucent, it's really not a lot, all right? So now, you get towards the ends. So what I do for these guys, because you want the same thing, is I chop this way, right? And put it down, turn it all into one direction and chop it again. Don't throw the ends away, all right? There's nothing wrong with them. Just because it's got that little white part in there, we're gonna cook it down so you're not even gonna notice it's there. All right, same thing with this guy, give it a little slice. Turn it the other way, give it a slight chop. And then if it's still too big, you give it another chop, just like that, all right? Do the last ones. So this is a good time that if you are making this at home to catch up, right? If you are, a lot of people say I go a little fast. You also have to understand this is now 23 going on 24 years for me. So if I go slow, I'm actually afraid I'm gonna cut myself, okay? Because the slower I go, the more I feel like it's like having a dull knife. You just feel like you're gonna cut yourself, which you more than likely will. So you take your time, do it as the speed you wanna do it at. And then, I mean, you could always go back and watch it, guys. We put it on YouTube afterwards, so you could always go back and watch it. It's not like you got to get it all in one shot. But if you want me to slow down, just say, Chef, slow up, please, because you're going too damn fast, and I can't do it fast.
Does the YouTube videos have like the amount of ingredients and stuff like that on there too?
No, they don't. But we could do that. I mean, we could figure out a way to do it. We're just getting to do this, guys. All right. We're just getting to figure this out. So we'll get better at it every day. And Lily's doing a fantastic job. I signed her up for just Instagram, and now she's doing everything. So just bear with us. We'll be fine. Nate, my man, what's my name? It's Pasquale Pascarella. That's it. What's my YouTube channel? Google it, bro. All right? I love you, dude. I'm kidding. All right, we're gonna turn that back up a little bit. This is going. This is done. We're gonna throw our basil in. So I'm going a little heavier, guys, all right? So normally I don't go this heavy on basil, all right? Especially for this but now I'm gonna puree this. So I want a decent amount of basil flavor in here because I don't want to put any more basil in after. I want this risotto to look clean, okay? So I don't want to put more basil in later. So I'm gonna give this a little tear. You could chop it. I mean, get to know your basil. Tear the thing up, you know what I mean? Give it a little stir. And you guys know, I tell you guys all the time, I don't cook my pomodoro sauce for a very long time at all. I wait to make sure that the tomatoes are soft. And I'm not sitting here trying to cut through, a rock. I want to make sure that they're nice and soft, but I don't cook it a ton. I cook it very little. I want this sauce to have that raw tomato flavor. I don't want it to have a sugo flavor, right? Or a ragu flavor where it's cooking for a long time. That was the Sunday sauce. And that was a couple of them ago where I made the brajol and the meatballs and all that stuff. Again, on YouTube, Nate. Pasquale Pascarella, my man. I love you. All right? Go a little bit more for this, just a touch. the fun part is the part that's coming up. But what I want to do is I want to get this all done because the next process takes a little bit longer, right? So I want to walk you guys through it, and it's fun the way we're gonna do it. So it's good. So I'm gonna finish this up. It's gonna take about another 30 seconds to a minute, right? Because it was just add a little bit touch of a bite to one of those tomatoes, and it's already getting softer, which is good. We'll give this a little taste and see where we're at. See if I can add a little salt. Another small pinch. Not a lot. All right. Give that a stir. God, those chili flakes are hot.
Right?
God. My God. All right. So we're gonna puree this, right? So now, if you have a blender at home, use a blender. We're gonna use this little stick blender we have. It makes a lot of noise, and I apologize now. Amelia hates it because she said it ruins the live, which I probably agree with. But we're gonna puree this right now. And you're probably gonna end up using a good 70 to 80% of this. So, you know, keep it around. You wanna make yourself a little bit of meatballs later and then just throw them in there and let them, you know, braise. That's fine as well. But, you know, no reason to throw it out when you're done. You could always use it. Make a little spaghetti tomorrow. Make a little spaghetti later. All right. We're gonna put this in. All right, so we're done with that pan. So now, I'm gonna use one of your, actually, Miss Samantha right behind you guys. Zoom in and show Miss Sam back there. She's great. If you guys wanna book a party, talk to Sam. Sam, can you please unplug this guy for me and plug this in for me, please? Just right here at the extension cord. Thank you. Everybody say hi to Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Hi, Sam. You're doing great. All right, so puree your tomatoes, okay? And I'm looking for a fine puree. I'm not looking for a slight chunkiness. Basically, what you're doing is you want to turn your risotto red, okay? And this is how you do it. Hi, Sam and Sylvia. Mike, what up, dude? So we're making risotto, Bill. All right, a little bit longer. I'm gonna get this really smooth. All right, almost there. All right, awesome. Now, if you guys put this in a blender, right? Please, because I don't want to hear you guys burn yourself later, put the top on and put a towel on top of your top, okay? Because there's plenty of times where I've watched, you know, young line cooks go and do it, and then the top explodes off, and then they end up with burns, and we don't want to see that, all right? Sam, I need you again, please. You did so well at it, and they're asking for more of Sam.
Yeah.
So please unplug me and plug the other one back in. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we're done with this. All right, now let's make the risotto, okay? Pan, kick the heat up. We're actually gonna go about medium heat on this. All right, olive oil first. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna do olive oil, decent amount. Do 1 nub of butter, okay? Get that to start melting. As that's melting, we're gonna add in our shallots, okay? So we're gonna do that right there. And again, looks like a lot, but I promise you later, it's nothing like this, right? And then instantly start moving these around. That butter's gonna melt, and we're gonna go nice and slow on these. And you're looking for it to be translucent, okay? That's the most important part. So now, whenever I do risotto, like this, again, when I said it's a labor of love, the reason why is because this is constant over the pan. Once you start, you're not walking away, okay? You walk away, there's a good possibility you're gonna destroy this. Mike, I miss you too, my man. Yeah, let me know when you guys wanna come. Come up, come down anytime. Bill came down to visit me about two years ago, and we had a blast, so come down anytime, my man. Yeah, guys, listen, zoom in on Sam, please. Sam needs a little more love. Okay, Sam and I and Grana we're throwing an event on September 12th, okay? It's called La Festa di San Gennaro, okay? So it's a St. Gennaro feast. Some of you guys that I see commenting that are from Connecticut, New York, and everything like that, you guys have seen this, all right? It hasn't happened in Atlanta, or that I know of. Maybe it did and it's not happening anymore. But we're trying to bring it back, all right? Feast of San Gennaro. It's basically an all-day affair of eating and drinking. And it's $10. Sign up now. That's all I gotta say. I promise you, if you guys are willing to watch this, you trust me on making this food, the food there is gonna be fantastic, all right?
Oh, I wish we could be there.
All right, so we're getting there. Gotta cook this a little bit more. All right, now's a good time that we're gonna add our first pinch of salt, okay? First pinch of salt, because what it's gonna do is it's gonna release all the moisture out of the shallots, and then once all that liquid's gone, you almost know that it's time to throw your risotto in, okay? A little bit longer on this. Already heat a little bit. All right, almost there. So now, as this is doing its thing, we're not gonna walk too far away. We're gonna come over here, and this is my secret ingredient, guys. I absolutely love anchovies, okay? Anchovies add salt. It adds a depthness of flavor. Sometimes it's in stuff and you probably don't even know it's there because a lot of chefs won't even tell you because you throw it on the menu and people are like, oh my God, there's an anchovy in it. But if you guys say, hey, we're vegetarian or like that, we'll let you know. But the anchovy is really gonna add a different layer of flavor to this, and I love anchovies and everything, all right? So now, the good thing about anchovy is that as this cooks, it's actually gonna kind of disintegrate in the sauce, all right? So we're gonna sit here and give it a slight chop, just like that. And you can use your spoon, you don't have to go too crazy. You can already kind of see it disintegrating, all right? Keep moving around these shallots. It's already kind of gone. Small little piece there. And there goes the anchovy, all right? So I always like to add anchovy in certain things. Like every once in a while, I'll make a really good spaghetti garlic and oil with some anchovies in there. I love anchovies in a lot of things, so. All right, turn this down just a little bit more. A little high. All right, almost there, about another 30 seconds. It's starting to smell good. All right. All right, now the most important part of making risotto, where a lot of mistakes are made, okay? You have to toast these grains, all right? So a little risotto goes a long way, keep that in mind, okay? Because this starts to expand and it's really gonna get a lot bigger. So you don't wanna go too crazy on your risotto, all right? Probably another 1 or 2 spoonfuls here. All right, and that's plenty, okay? So now, this is gonna feed 1.5 to 2 people very easily. So now the whole point is you gotta get all that oil that's in there, you gotta get that on each rice kernel, and then you have to use the heat that's on in the pan right now to toast it. And you're gonna see each one of these rice kernels here are gonna toast, and you could already start seeing it happen on this guy here. Look at this guy. All right, so right there, you can see the outside becomes translucent and the inside is still al dente. So now it's gonna keep happening in here. And the whole point is that where a lot of people make mistakes with risotto as well, is that they cook it too much, all right? Risotto is supposed to be cooked al dente, served al dente. If you overcook it, you're gonna make a mess, all right? It's gonna be this clunky disaster because all you're doing right now as we move from this spoon to the wooden spoon is we're basically smashing the rice kernels on the side of this pan while incorporating liquid to release the starch from the rice kernel itself for it to start to really make the magic happen in these dishes, right? So I toast my rice for about 1.5 to 2 minutes at the most. That's all you need. You could already hear it toasting. As you're moving it back and forth, you can hear it like toasting in the pan. Another second or 2 and we're good. All right, now, another common mistake. People go automatically from here, they throw all the liquid in, and then they ending up with a soup, okay? It's not what you want. Low and slow, nice and easy. Start with white wine, okay? So what I do is I put enough white wine in here, basically to go about halfway up the rice kernels, okay? Just like that. And then I just start stirring, all right? This is where you're gonna live for the next 20 to 25 minutes, all right? You're stirring, just like that. And you're gonna see it, it's gonna start happening in about 3 or 4 minutes. that the starch is gonna start to release, all right? And you're gonna start seeing this get nice and thick. And then we're gonna start adding that liquid. And then we're gonna add pomodoro. And all this is gonna it's gonna marry together very, very nicely, all right? You don't need a lot of wine, because we already got the sweetness in the tomato. We got the sweetness in the onions. There's a little sweetness in the chicken stock, so you don't need a lot of wine. So now what I do is, you can already see it getting thick. See that? It's already thick. You want to cook all of this wine flavor out. I don't want to get too drunk. I just want the sweetness from it, all right? Normally we'll be opening wine and drinking wine. This would be a perfect time for a wine break. But I apologize. A little tired today, long day. And I don't ever use that word a lot where I'm tired. But today is one of those days. All right, so you could already see it, right? It's basically non-existent, it's gone, okay? So now we're gonna do two things right now. We're gonna do our first spoonful of tomato, not a lot. And you're gonna do your first few ladles of chicken stock, okay? Now you could easily do veggie stock, not a big deal at all. But since I got the anchovy in there already, I'm gonna go chicken stock, okay? And then same thing, guys, you're gonna start incorporating, right? And you start stirring. So color's already changed, all right? That's from the darkness of the chicken stock, but also from the tomato itself. And just keep stirring. Just like that. Just like this. Very easy. All right? This is the really good stance my father makes all the time. Hand on hip, just like this. Normally it was also with a cigarette, but he quit, thank God. But yeah, this is his stance. I feel like this is the most common Italian stance. They always do this and lean back like they're pregnant. Yeah. All right, really start scraping down those sides. Last thing you want to do is start burning it, and then really start incorporating it. Get in there, start moving it around. You could already see, it's already thick, all right? Keep going. Did I get you?
No, you're good. I'm just looking at this mark on my arm.
All right, and we're basically gonna cook that to dry, okay? So you're on about medium-high heat right now. You don't wanna go any lower than that, because what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna end up with all this soup, and you don't want all that soup. Love you, Colin, love you, Sophia. Normally you guys are my sous chefs, or you were last week, but not today. All right, start moving that around. So basically dry again. We're gonna do that process one more time. We're gonna add the pomodoro. And we're gonna do another ladle of chicken stock. All right, and we're gonna keep repeating that process. And you'll know when it's ready, because we're gonna taste it, all right? We're not even close. It's gonna take a little bit longer. Keep moving, don't stop. I know your right arm may get tired, go to your left. You may want to take a break right now, you gotta pee. Don't do it. You're gonna burn it. Keep moving it around. So now imagine you come to White Bull and I put risotto on the menu, and this is what one guy's gotta do for 20 minutes, just like this. More than likely, he'll probably be on his cell phone at the same time because, he's got a lot of time. All right. Keep going. See, it's already getting thick. All that starch, you can even see it in it. Like that's thick, right? And it's not from reduction. You can actually see it on the side of the pan. You see all that right there? That's all the starch from the risotto itself. Okay. So you keep that going. Keep stirring. Then this is going to become more and more aggressive with the stirring as we go, because you really want to smack these rice kernels to the side of the pan in this motion. But you're kind of going to be doing something where it's like, it's a toss and go. It's like one of these, and you're really gonna go into it, but we still got a few minutes from that, all right? So now, guys, we're gonna repeat that process again. More pomodoro. More chicken stock. And we're gonna do this for probably 5 to 6 times, and then we're gonna taste it. We're gonna see where we are. Are we cooked? Are we not cooked? We're gonna see where we are in a few minutes, you'll see. Keep going. It's already starting to smell good. So now actually, if you look at it, you can see the rice kernel is starting to plump up a little bit. But you see the inside still white, that's how you know it's still al dente, okay? So I think this was 3, right? 3 or 4 with the wine? 3? Okay. All right, keep moving it around. Don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. All right, and now if you notice, the only time I've added salt so far is in the risotto in the beginning. I mean, sorry, in the pomodoro in the beginning, and I added a little bit with the shallots. I have not added salt yet, and you'll see why later. Sam, what up, Sam? Sam's on the live. All right, so we're gonna do it again, guys. Pomodoro. All right. This time we're gonna do half a ladle of chicken stock because we're getting there. We don't want to do it. We don't want to over cream this and then over commit. All right. Man, this looks good.
Flavio's one lucky guy.
Flavio's one lucky guy. Yeah. All right, we're gonna give this a taste. See where we at on the doneness of the risotto itself. That was 7 minutes. Take some time.
When we were away, we had risotto, and it was literally so gross. It tastes like water. It had no flavor.
That's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. I was like, it's unreal.
All right, it's already starting to look good. I'm gonna give you guys a secret later when we go to finish this, because a lot of people make risotto incorrectly, and they think that the risotto is supposed to sit nice and high on a plate, but that's wrong. So if you order a risotto in a restaurant and they give you this nasty, thick, gross stuff, walk out. Tell them Chef Pat told you to. All right? All right, keep going a little bit more.
It's a very pretty color.
Yeah, it's only gonna get better. It's like me with age.
Fine wine.
You're better looking. All right, more. A little bit more of the chicken stock. One that we did earlier. And plus I checked the doneness and it needs a little bit, so we're gonna go a little bit more. Man, that looks good. All right. Now, if you're doing this and you're stuck to the bottom, turn it down to low, right? Don't scrape it all up the bottom. Go to a new pan, okay? That means you're burning it and you gotta go to a new pan. Now, if you're doing this, like I told you to, and you didn't go take a pee break, you didn't start pounding down wine, you'd be all right. You shouldn't have a problem, all right? All right. Where's Isabel?
She could have come.
Isabel, if you're watching, we miss you, all right? I don't think you are, but if you are,
I'll tell her later.
Please. All right. I promise we're almost there, guys. But this is what happens when you come and order at the restaurant. So normally you go to a restaurant, and if it's 25 bucks on a menu, which it probably should be, it's because it's basically $1 a minute for it takes me to cook this, right? Keep going. Really start to get a little more vigorous with it. A lot of stirring. My right arm's starting to hurt. All right, a little bit more. This time we're gonna do 2 pomodoros because I have a feeling this might be the last time. 2 pomodoros on that. 1 nice heaping ladle of chicken stock. That was a little weak one because I'm running out over there. All right, I have a feeling it's gonna be the last go around of this because I can tell by the doneness and I can tell by how starchy this is starting to get. Now look how pretty that color is already. That's a pretty color. I don't know what color it is because I'm colorblind, but it's pretty, all right?
What color does it look like?
So that looks orange to me. Is that orange?
Yeah.
See?
It looks pretty
Not
orange.
bad. But I know a tomato's red, so it's really screwing me up, you know?
That must be weird when you know something, and
Yeah.
then you see something.
Screws me up.
That would be a little weird.
So normal people see green, yellow, red, right? I see white, orange, orange. Yeah, still have no idea how they give me a fucking license. Dumbasses. Thank you, Connecticut DMV. You did great.
That's funny.
All right. So, get in there. We're gonna give this a nice little taste, see where we're at. So now, I'm not worried about flavor yet. I'm worried about doneness of the risotto. Fucking insane. Another 2 to 3 minutes. Gonna need probably another go around of the chicken stock. Almost there. So remember, al dente, not raw, not overcooked where it's straight mush, al dente. If you don't know what that is, we'll bite on a piece of pasta right now, not that. Cook it all the way till it's mush, not that. Somewhere in the middle. I like my pasta boiled for a minute and done. I like mine basically raw. That's just me, I'm fucking weird. All right, you can see it getting really thick now, all right? All that starch is releasing. It needs a little bit more time. For my guess, I would say it's probably gonna require one more of these guys and maybe even one more pomodoro. Well, we're close, we're very close, all right? So I can turn that off because that guy's gonna stay hot. But now, let's say you didn't heat up your chicken stock, okay? Because a lot of people make that wrong choice, right? Let's say you don't heat this up. Every time you add it in there, you gotta wait for it to come to a boil. Then you add more, wait to come to a boil. Just be prepared, have it set up the correct way. Do it the way I'm telling you to do it. I promise you, you won't screw this up, okay? All right, God, it looks good. So now we're gonna take this round right here pretty dry, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second, because I really want to get this risotto to be, you know, cooked to a really good al dente doneness. Now for me, this is perfect. But for a lot of people, they don't like the risotto like this, so I'm gonna cook it just a little bit more, okay?
What region is risotto from?
So risotto, there's a battle between the regions of risotto, right? So a lot of people from Milano or from the north say it's from there. Then the people from Amalfi or Napoli say it's from there. Now you find it normally at both places. This recipe here, this recipe is from Amalfi, okay? So basically this entire dish is a play on a caprese salad, but instead of it being a salad, they're making it this way, right? They're turning it into a risotto. This video will be on your main page after, and all the ingredients are started. Mercedes, listen, so after this, I don't know if it's gonna make it right now, it may make it later, but we could try to make it right now. It is going to be...
We'll send it to him.
Hey, we'll send it to you. How about that? But even if we don't, you could always catch it on YouTube. So this handsome gentleman right here that just showed up, this is Bailey. So you could kind of do a little zoom in on both of you. But that's Bailey is Amelia's boyfriend. He's fantastic.
Let's go.
All right,
that looks fantastic.
He's gonna get to
smells
taste
fantastic.
it, which is good.
You came at the right time.
I was watching on the way here.
Nice. All right, almost there, guys. It's worth the wait, I promise. All right. Give it another taste and see where we're at. Again, not worried about seasoning yet. We'll go one more pomodoro. And I really want this to taste like tomato, right? All right. So, you're gonna see I'm taking this pretty tight, okay? I just told you guys, don't take it too tight, because if you go too tight, it's gonna be plumpy, and that's not what you're looking for. You're gonna see what we're gonna do in a second that's really gonna turn this around, all right? So, cook it a little bit more, keep stirring. I know your arm hurts, but I promise it's worth it. Keep going. All right. Another 30 seconds. Cook that down a little bit more. Now, if yours doesn't look like this, take your time and keep cooking it down. All right? Billy, you're gonna try this on live. You gotta let everybody know if it's good. Don't be like my daughter last week though, where she talked shit on national television or Facebook Live, and I was like, "How's my pasta?" And she's like, it's spicy. Yeah, it's like, damn, son, that's messed up. She's 2.
Really?
She was talking mad heat this week though about my skill. All right, turn your gas off, okay? You can see you pull it across. It's starting to come in, but the bottom's dry, okay? So if I gave you this right now, you should run, okay? Because this isn't how it's supposed to look. Now, let's finish this, okay? first things first, knob of butter.
Oh boy.
All right. Second thing, extra virgin olive oil. Good amount. Don't be afraid. Parmigiano Reggiano. Same thing. Don't be afraid. Now you know. Now you should know why I didn't add salt, because Parmigiano Reggiano is salty. Correct? All right. Now, the one thing I like to add, and this is not authentic, but this is what's going to really add creaminess to this. This is mascarpone cheese. Okay. I love mascarpone cheese for risotto. I think it makes it really, really good. I think it adds a really nice creaminess to it. You don't need a lot. Basically the same nub that you just did for the butter, and that's plenty. All right. Now, remember before I told you your arm's really gonna hurt, and I'm gonna try to do it where I don't splatter these beautiful women here. All right, and my guy Bailey. All right, you're beautiful as well, sir.
Hey, I'd be happy to be splattered with that. Come on.
All right, and really get in there, like beat the crap out of this. All right. You could already see what it's doing. Like, look at how beautiful that looks now. That's creamy. That looks good, right? A little bit more. All right, now we're gonna give it a taste, see where we are for flavor. Now you season. A little bit of salt. Now, again, I just told you that I don't want this gelatinous looking mess. So we're gonna add a little bit more chicken stock. All right, almost there, I promise. Touch more. You want to thin this out a little bit. We won't want it to be thick. And also remember, the minute this hits that plate, and that plate's cold, you better have it hot, it's gonna automatically seize up, right? And we don't want that to happen. Touch more. All right, a little bit more salt, and now we're gonna bring this home, all right?
Do you use regular chicken stock or one with
This
less
is low sodium.
Yeah, that's what
Because of the reason that it keeps
Salt.
reducing, and you want to make sure that you don't over season. All right. So that's how you want it to look. That's how risotto's supposed to look, right? Look at that color. Look at how creamy that is.
Creaminess.
Right? All right, now let's plate this thing. So another thing, you don't plate risotto in a bowl. It's a flat plate, okay? Put it in the middle of the plate. All right, we'll do one more spoonful. And then what you do is you do this. Hit the bottom of the plate. All right. See how the risotto is spreading out all the way to the sides? And it's super flat. That's how your risotto should look. All right. Now let's finish this thing, all right? We're gonna go here. A little bit more Parmigiano Reggiano because a little bit won't hurt. A little bit on top. Now my favorite part of this is the part that's gonna make the caprese, is we're gonna put a little burrata on it, right? So what I'm gonna do is, instead of using the outside and using the skin, I'm gonna take the inside, also known as the stracciatella. We're gonna put a little bit on top, just like that, all right? One more right in the middle, all right? Then, we're gonna finish it. Nice extra virgin olive oil. And don't be afraid, okay? This is the good shit right here. It's the really expensive stuff, and you want that. All right? That's it.
Beautiful.
Super simple. Let me clean up all these edges because I got my fingerprints on there. This is an amateur hour, right? And I gotta feed it to my guy Bailey here. So I wanna make sure that, it's right for him. All right, get in the clip, my man, because I'm gonna feed you this, all right?
Here it comes. I'm excited.
Ready? Is that too big? Get in there, bro.
No bite is too big.
Hot and cold, tastes like tomato salad. Fantastic, right? See that?
Yeah.
So this is gonna be my guy going forward because I feel like my daughter did me dirty. So we're gonna bring him in every single
Gas him
time
up.
so you guys can taste it, all right? But guys, super simple again. Take some time, but realistically, we did the whole thing with less than 10 ingredients, so it's really not that difficult, right? But it takes time, and again, it's a labor of love, but it's fucking delicious when it's done, all right?
Can confirm. Can confirm.
Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Yum.